DICE LA and DICE Stockholm.
Yeah.
How does that work? What is, if you were to describe to the outside world sort of how that synergy looks, how do you work? Do you have one studio focusing on one thing and one on the other, or?
So it's a good question. I guess DICE started up in the first office in Gothenburg, and then when we merged with Refraction Games became part of DICE, we had Stockholm and Gothenburg, and then we had DICE Canada, and for a short while DICE New York, and then it all became DICE Stockholm. But then we saw the opportunity of starting up DICE LA, and with some really good old timers from DICE, going way back in the company. We had the opportunity of building up a new studio with kind of a lot of the mindset that I think makes DICE a strong studio. But with that also capturing kind of what that studio wants to be. But in all, I think, for Battlefield 1 we were in it together, and now post-launch we're working together still, but more kind of in that live environment, constantly trying to improve the game and providing new cool experiences. And then they've been pushing really hard and delivering a lot of good stuff. So, and then we're more working with them and supporting them. So, but it's a joint effort, and I think what's interesting is building a studio in a Swedish climate with a lot of history, and then have the opportunity with a lot of knowledge about that background to build a new studio in an American environment, and kind of at the heart of LA, and seeing how do we shape this to both keep the heart and soul of DICE, but at the same time hopefully push the boundaries and also attract kind of developers on the other side of the pond. And I think they've done a good job, and there's something soothing coming into that office. It's very welcoming, and it's
warmer.
It's a good place to be. Yeah, it's warmer too.
What unique characteristics is it that makes Battlefield in your opinion?
To me, and with the risk of sounding like a broken record, it is really about what it's been from the beginning. It is the sandbox. It is the sandbox, kind of us providing you the tools as a player, and then as a player you create the drama. And this is the magic formula. It's nothing strange about it. But I think with Battlefield's universe, with land, sea and air components, the rock, paper, scissors gameplay, that there's never the superior weapon, is what's fueled it from the get-go. And I think when we came out with Battlefield 1942, we seemed to strike the market with kind of a new way of playing first-person shooters. To be honest, up to that point, a lot of what we played and loved was tank simulators, plane simulators, shooters, but now we brought them into the same universe. So I think that part is really what fuels it and makes it unique. Thinking about Battlefield 1942 and that North American kind of paper box where you could fold it open and see the circle of the rock, paper, scissors units on the battlefield. That's what it is about. You go in there, you use it at your best. And as we've grown through the years, we've started to add more. In the beginning it was soldiers and vehicles, but then we added the destruction with kind of frostbite, and now it's the dynamic weather. And all in all, you as a player, hopefully, at least my personal opinion is that you have a much bigger toolbox on the battlefield. There's so many things to master, and that is what happens. You never know what situation you're going to come into. So it is about the one who adapts and survives, utilize the world, the tools, in the best possible way that wins. And for us, multiplayer has always been in our DNA, but now with Battlefield 1, I think, and the community told us in media as well, that the new war story concept was really something they appreciated. It was kind of capturing different kind of human destinies set against an epic war, and all of them providing different experiences. And for me, nothing is written where it's much more of an open battlefield, and it's up to you to outsmart the enemy and find your solution to problems. And in the end, we want you to to come up with those solutions and kind of create those battlefield moments.
Map design is a sort of contentious topic among the fans of the game. The approach you took with the Close Quarters DLC for BF3 received a lot of praise, and there's a lot of fans that would like to see maps focus on verticality and close quarters combat. What's your general take on that, and what are sort of some of the pros and cons that you weigh when you set up the map design?
Mm. I mean, I too liked close quarter kind of that combat, and what I really liked in general about those expansions, and what we try to do with our expansions is, if you deliver the base game, then with the expansions you're even more free to explore new types of gameplay, to not just deliver more of the same. And I think game development, and especially these days where there's so much data to build your decisions upon, but it's also dangerous whether you are data driven or data guided. Since if you only look at the numbers, we would only build a certain type of levels. These ones are the most popular. Make 10 more. But that doesn't hold up, since that's like saying that the world is populated with one single person and one single mind. And I mean, we have an enormous community, and passionate one. And some want the open maps that some other people find impossible. Some want the cramped one, some want the vehicle heavy. And I think by looking too much at data, there is a risk of creating just more of the same. So that's where we try to kind of split them into small, medium, large, and the different flavors. And I think, to me, I love the startup process of how levels come about, that it's really about capturing why will this be different, why will it be cool, rather than let's make one more of these. And even going back to Metro, which I think in Battlefield 3 it started as, we want a beautiful park in a city and see a tank roll through it. We want to do a subway level, we want to do a big shopping mall, and in the end we took all of them and kind of, no, we can't do all of them, we need to see, yes. So it became a combination of them. And that part of the process, I think, is important, that each and every map has a soul. You should hopefully smile when it comes up in the playlist and come, that's the one. But then, of course, since we try to hit that broad audience, you can't love them all.
No.
But hopefully enough more than enough to have you get going at it.
How do you approach new eras and opportunities to explore new themes throughout that project?
So in general, I think, I mean, we've been going at it for some time now. We've been to everything from Second World War to Vietnam, into the future, cops and robbers, First World War. So for me, for example, when we started up Battlefield 1, it was a pitch that came first back in 2008, but then got tabled since we were too busy. But when it came up again with quite a solid pitch that struck everyone, like, we need to make it, we were still two of us who sat down and did kind of the exercise from, I think, probably from Roman Empire into very far futuristic worlds and everything between, plus made up stuff, made a long list, and tried to really look at what's out there on the market.
So you sort of mapped out every worldwide conflict.
Anything that would be relevant, since to be honest, Battlefield as a whole, like Special Forces for Battlefield 2, that one tried to deliver on a small group and kind of insertion and everything, but as a whole, Battlefield is really about all-out war. So we tried to map out all the major conflicts that we know of, real and kind of made up, and then look at the pros and cons of each and every one of them. Have they been kind of used in other games? What gameplay do they bring? And for us, I mean, first and foremost is kind of, is there new gameplay to be had here? Does it get us excited and kind of, what about this? What about that? That's where it really starts. And then the second part is, how can we portray, like with Battlefield 1, how can we portray this era and bring it to the market in a way that hasn't really been done before. So it's quite an exciting kind of brainstorm exercise to look at all the possibilities. So sometimes I think we will only scratch the surface.
Thank you, Lars.
Thank you.